Good morning, RHS, and welcome to this edition of RHS Live. I am Tykayla.
And I am Emily. Today is February 19th, 2025, and welcome to this edition of RHS Live.
The Red Devil players need backstage help. If you are interested in being a part of the team, please stay after school on Monday, February 24th in McGuire Hall. They will need help with set, painting, makeup, costumes, lights, and more. For our spring production of the day, The Internet Died. See Mix Bunner in room 243 for more details.
National Honor Society will be inducting new members next week. If you are getting inducted, please be in Civic Hall by 6 p.m. If you have any questions, please check Canvas or talk to Mr. Warch.
The 2025 Career Fair will be here soon. Juniors will go on March 4th, followed by the seniors on March 5th. The Career Fair will be at the Wayne County Fairgrounds and will have over 40 local businesses. This is a good opportunity to find out what careers are out there and what careers best interest you. There will also be games and prizes. We will have more information as we get closer.
Here's Mrs. Porter with this week's edition of Senior Moments.
Welcome to Senior Moments with Mrs. Porter. Seniors, this is just a quick reminder that today from noon until 4 o'clock, we are having a FAFSA help session in our school library. We will have experts from our local colleges here to help students and parents complete their FAFSAs. Even if you just have a quick question, you want to stop in to get an answer, they will be happy to help you. Remember, the sooner you can get your FAFSA completed, the better. Also, seniors, if you have not completed the second portion of the Honors and Awards application, please stop in and see me this week. The second part of this application is due next Friday, February the 28th. Thank you, and I'll see you next week for more Senior Moments with Mrs. Porter.
This week, we celebrated President's Day on Monday. We published our annual President's Day virtual assembly. In case you missed it, we wanted to highlight one section. We asked our social studies department who their favorite president was and why. Take a look.
Hey besties, this is Miss Lewis, your local history teacher. My favorite president is Barack Obama, and that is because he is the first president of color, which is totally different than all the other white dudes who were president in history.
Hello, my name is Miss Bussy, and I'm going to go with Eisenhower being my favorite president for a few reasons. First of all, before he was even president, he was one of the best generals in World War II, took down Hitler, pretty cool. Second of all, as president, he really handled the Cold War pretty well, I think, in terms of the Korean War and not really escalating things with the Soviet Union or China. Did a pretty good job. He also put down the Red Scare at home pretty efficiently. He also passed the Interstate Highway Act, which I like driving fast, so I'm okay with that. And I'd say most importantly, he did use the National Guard to start the process of desegregating schools. So overall, I think a great president in the 50s. And I mean, I like Ike.
My favorite president is Jimmy Carter. He's sort of a controversial figure in history in terms of the quality of his presidency. A lot of people will say he was ineffective or that he didn't really accomplish very much. And while I do agree with that, that's pretty true. I think overall he's just a good guy, and I think we need to highlight that more in the presidency.
So my favorite president would have to be Franklin Delano Roosevelt because of all he did during the Great Depression and a lot of his things he enacted during that time we still use today. So he's a lasting impression on America.
My favorite president would be more than likely FDR. There's a bunch that I could choose from here, but I'll stick with FDR to start with. Mainly because, he was in charge of the country through two of the most trying times in recent history, whether it was the Great Depression or World War II. He was the president for much of the Great Depression, all of World War II. He was elected to 4 consecutive terms. That just shows how popular he was with the American people. And that's something that's never gonna happen again, because we've now passed a constitutional amendment to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But yeah, having been elected to 4 terms, doing what he did, he was the first president to have a woman in his cabinet, Frances Perkins, who was the Secretary of Labor. She was the longest serving person as the Secretary of Labor, obviously for 4 terms. So him doing that, it was pretty special as well. So really creates the modern presidency. So there's a lot of stuff that falls back to Franklin D. Roosevelt. My second choice would be just kind of like a silly dark horse, but that would be James K. Polk, way back in the 1840s, because he basically ran on a ticket that says, I'm going to do these 3 things. I'm going to get Mexico. I'm going to do these other 3 things. He did all 3 in his first term and then didn't run for a second term. So that was kind of like a mic drop president. But really, FDR, when it comes to the modern presidency, it's all shaped by him.
That's all for this edition of RHS Live.
Have a great day, RHS.